The video you're about to see involves an extreme crash between a semi-truck, a car, and a police car responding to an emergency with its lights and sirens. In the bottom of your screen, you'll see a semi-truck in the right lane, a sedan in the left lane. As several police cars merge onto the freeway, the semi-truck moves to the middle lane to allow those police cars to merge onto the freeway. Unfortunately, one of those police cars tries to make it to the center median turnaround, and that's when they are struck on the driver's side by the truck. This was a 3-car accident. The sedan in the left-hand lane was also involved. A police squad trailing behind, again responding to an emergency call, was quick to arrive on scene and began rendering aid. The officer involved is a relatively new officer with a year or less of experience, 22 years old. His injuries were described as critical, but he was transported and, as his time of publication, is continuing to recover in the hospital. He was extricated from the squad car, and the other drivers, the driver of the car and the driver of the semi-truck, stayed on scene. This is at 10% speed, but here are the headlights or high beams flashing back and forth of the squad. This is the merge lane. We've got the solid stripes. So I'm pretty sure they're merging from this merge lane. And you can see their high beams reflecting off the snow out here. And why that's important. Let's go back. Why that's important. These high beams are important because it shows the angle at which they're making the turn. It's a relatively sharp turn. That's before they're hit because it's gradual. So I'll play that back. This is really good video. Even though it's not fully captured on camera, it gives you a sense for how sharp they're making the turn. The high beams are out here, then they're out here, then they're out here. And so the car hasn't been struck yet. And then suddenly it's going to be struck and we lose the high beams immediately. An extreme crash, to be sure. This is further back. So the semi-truck is over here. The flashing lights of the police car, that purple light. So here's the shoulder of the main freeway, 6 lanes, 3 lanes each direction. The lights we're going to lose the lights as they are obstructed by the box of the semi-truck. And then we're going to pick up the lights again as they come out on the far side. This is at 10% speed. Both of these clips are 10% speed. Video via Minnesota Department of Transportation. So it traveled out here, got struck by the semi-truck, which was in the middle lane at the time of striking. And then the lane lights, you can see the headlights popped out right there. You'll see the headlights. There's the lights out there. This is, now I know it's blurry, but this is helpful because you can see how far right. You get a sense for how sharp this turn was that the car is attempting to make this U-turn. In my opinion, basically what this is going to come down to is this was an unexpected move, what you might call a rookie mistake, and it's a relatively sharp turn with little warning. Most training programs for police officers are going to have training on how to do a safe U-turn, which includes checking your mirrors and checking your blind spot, which it's very unlikely this officer did in this situation. And there is a car still in that left lane, which really limits the options available to the semi-truck driver. So my estimation is this is going to come down to an error on behalf of the officer. This was a mistake on behalf of the officer. Little warning, the semi-truck driver, who does try to move over lane. He starts, when this incident starts, it's in the middle lane, but by the time it ends, that truck driver is moving left and is in the left lane to try to avoid this collision. You can look, these tires are still kind of in that middle lane, but the front of the truck is in the left lane. So the truck driver is trying to avoid the collision. But when you sometimes look at accidents or crashes, you think about 100% responsible, in my estimation, the police officers at fault on this. This was not expected, not anticipated move by the police officer. And a veteran officer, most officers out there, no one's going to be making this type of move. Of course, the officer faces a difficult recovery, and our thoughts are with him. The video comes as there were a total of 4 squad-involved crashes across the state of Minnesota as Minnesota struggles with officer shortages. The other crashes involving state trooper cars that we caught on camera all involved clear instances of other drivers sliding or driving recklessly before striking the vehicles.